welcome to the Intuitively Wild podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Levine. Living intuitively wild is about coming back home to ourselves. Here we talk about how to live connected to ourselves, others, and nature, and make a commitment to radical authenticity, vulnerability, and acceptance. On this podcast, we delve into a wide range of topics that span the human experience. We peel back the layers and talk about the things that are often not talked about. This is a space for us all to walk and wander this path of life together. Let's dig into our roots and go deep. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. And welcome to our monthly ritual of sitting down to talk about an event that we are creating a ceremony around. And there are a couple of things I want to touch on before we get into the details and the step-by-step. First of all, if you are watching this on YouTube, which you should, you will see that I'm in my new home. And I'm not going to go into the details of all of that in this episode. That will be in our monthly solo episode about our reflections and intentions for the month. So stay tuned for that. You'll also see that my hair is wet. You see all the behind the scenes on the video. So it's fun to watch on there. And I did go back and forth for this episode specifically if I wanted to share the ceremony ritual episodes with the video, because I do read from my notes a lot, because I have all my research and my learnings and everything really written out for this episode. So that can make it harder to record. But we're doing the video, we committed to it, so here we are. But if you see me reading something or referencing something, it is my notes and also the detailed Substack that will correspond with this podcast episode. So if you also want to read this or have this to reference when you're doing your ceremony or doing your rituals, you can head over to the Substack, which will be linked below. Speaking of that, I want to touch on the difference between ceremony and ritual, because I do get that question a lot, and that's a question that I myself had for a long time. And to put it simply, a ceremony is made up of rituals. A ceremony is a more all-encompassing Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. And welcome to our monthly ritual of sitting down to talk about an event that we are creating a ceremony around. And there are a couple of things I want to touch on before we get into the details and the step-by-step. First of all, if you are watching this on YouTube, which you should, you will see that I'm in my new home. And I'm not going to go into the details of all of that in this episode. That will be in our monthly solo episode about our reflections and intentions for the month. So stay tuned for that. You'll also see that my hair is wet. You see all the behind the scenes on the video. So it's fun to watch on there. And I did go back and forth for this episode specifically if I wanted to share the ceremony ritual episodes with the video, because I do read from my notes a lot, because I have all my research and my learnings and everything really written out for this episode. So that can make it harder to record. But we're doing the video, we committed to it, so here we are. But if you see me reading something or referencing something, it is my notes and also the detailed Substack that will correspond with this podcast episode. So if you also want to read this or have this to reference when you're doing your ceremony or doing your rituals, you can head over to the Substack, which will be linked below. And speaking of that, I want to touch on the difference between ceremony and ritual, because I do get that question a lot, and that's a question that I myself had for a long time. And to put it simply, a ceremony is made up of rituals. A ceremony is a more all-encompassing experience and a time. Create the time for yourself to enter a different environment with energy separate from your day to day. So it's kind of like if you are entering a class and you're in a whole different energy and really devoting that time and space to this intention, this ceremony, this energy. And the ceremony is full of different rituals. So the rituals are the step-by-step actions incorporated into the ceremony. So what I'm going to share with you today, you can combine all of these practices at once to dive into a full ceremony, or you can take bits and pieces and weave them throughout the next week or so as rituals. And these can be rituals that are specific for this event or just for your life in general, whatever you feel inspired to do. As always, make this your own. Follow what feels exciting for you and joyful for you, and just follow your intuition with it. Remember, it is not about what you are doing, it is how and why you are doing it. Any action can be a ritual if you move through it with intentionality and presence. And any ritual can become a routine if you are disconnected and disembodied. So it could be the most beautiful ceremony, it could be the most impactful ritual, but if you are showing up just going through the motions or not fully in it and present, it's not actually going to have impact. It's not actually a ceremony. It's not actually a ritual. A ritual, a ceremony is about the intentionality and the presence that you bring to it. And the event that we are creating a ceremony for this month is Beltane. And Beltane takes place on May 1st. So it is really coming up and I am very excited. Of course, I'm recording this in advance, but when you are listening to this, Beltane will be tomorrow. You can do these rituals, this ceremony, anytime that works for you in the next week or two. And again, it's all about following your intuition, what feels right for you, when you feel called to do it, when you feel excited to do it, when you have the time to do it, and when it is supportive for you. Traditionally, Beltane is a Celtic and pagan holiday that celebrates the start of summer, which is very exciting, but it does not feel like it is summer yet. And it's now often seen as the peak of spring. So when we're halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, we're inching our way closer to the opening of summertime. And again, it's another in-between moment. If you've been around here for a bit, you know that we talk a lot about the in-between moments, the transitions, the almosts, the not quite yet, the messy magic middle, the uncertainty and lack of clarity that can come with missing puzzle pieces and being halfway there, but not there yet. There is an energy of these in-between moments that asks us to trust, that forces us to trust. Trust, trust, trust. That has really been the word of the year for me recently. And to have patience and let things take the time they need to take. These have been some of the core themes of my 2025 so far. I don't know about you guys, but that has been really true for me. But this moment is also the beginning, the ushering in of summer, a time that most of us, many of us, wait all year for, a time to revere and honor the sun, the warmth, vibrance, renewal, and life that comes with this season. The sun represents vitality and vibrancy, and summer is that energy for us. It brings us back into that energy fully. We had a slow start to the year. I don't know if you are attuned to or know about the astrology or the energetics of it all, or if you just felt this within yourself. I haven't talked to anyone who hasn't felt this slowness or this in-betweenness of the beginning of the year. We had many retrogrades, eclipses, and just change and uncertainty. And now the energy is starting to pick up. The tides are shifting, pieces are coming together. I don't know if you can feel it, but I definitely can. And again, I won't go into all the nitty-gritty astrology of it all, but energetically, that is what is happening. And I have definitely been feeling it. And that is something that we experience every year because energetically, the new year isn't until Aries season, which is the end of March. But even more so this year, it was emphasized, and also it doesn't even really feel like it's starting until right now or like a week ago. And that's because of different retrogrades and eclipses, and I think also personally just what I've been going through. And so Beltane feels like this turning point, something to really celebrate, that the sun is here, summer is coming, the tides are shifting. And I think it's so important to celebrate this moment this year more than ever. Beltane is the third of the 3 fertility celebrations on the wheel of the year. So we talked about during Imbolc in February, we planted our seeds. And then in March during the spring equinox, we watered and nourished them and saw buds pop to the surface. And now Beltane has come and we are really starting to see if our flowers are blooming. We are starting to see the physical representation of our seeds come to life. If we tended to them, if we nourished them, if we gave them what they really needed, and if they were truly aligned for us. You might be seeing your flowers die, wilt, or not grow at all if you didn't nourish them or yourself, if you didn't tend to them, if you didn't believe in them, and if they weren't actually meant for you. It's also been a big part of the astrology this year so far is things falling away or things that we thought were meant for us, rethinking them and restructuring them, recreating them, letting them go. Just a lot of reflecting and shedding and releasing, and a lot of reconnecting to our desires. Tuning into these seasonal celebrations on the wheel of the year through ritual and ceremony allows us to work with this energy with intention and presence. Ritual and ceremony allows us to choose what seeds we want to plant, how we want to nourish them, and how we want to show up for them once they bloom in our lives. Intentionality. That is how we create magic. If we're not intentional, then we might plant the wrong seeds. We might not nourish them with the right nutrients. We might not grow what is truly aligned for us, what will truly support us, or we might not grow to our fullest potential. Intentionality allows us to really create the life that we want to create. So to begin your ceremony, this is something that I shared on last month's YouTube, but I will share it here since I haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. But if you want to see me really do it fully, you can watch on YouTube. But how I start my ceremonies and also how I start rituals as well, depending on what ritual I'm doing and how much time I have, is I open the circle. And again, this can be more intricate or more simple depending on my circumstances or my time, and follow what feels right for you. But I welcome in all 4 directions. I place my palm to the direction, and if you know truly what direction where north is, you can face that way. I don't always know that, so I just decided that in front of me is north. So I say, air to the east, I welcome you. Fire to the south, I welcome you. Water to the west, I welcome you. Earth to the north, I welcome you. And then I place my palms, both or just one, face up, and I say, guides, gods, goddesses, benevolent ones above, I welcome you. And then I place my palms face down, and I say, ancestors below, I welcome you. And I place my hands on my heart, and I say, the guidance and wisdom of my own intuition and inner knowing, I welcome you. My heart is open, and we are all connected. May you guide me, send me the messages I need to hear and the insights I need to know. May you walk this path with me. The circle is now open, the circle is now open, the circle is now open. That's my version. That's what I've created through my intuition and through different trainings and teachers I've had, and I've made it my own. So make this your own, and you'll hear other people do it in very different ways or different iterations of that. I feel the most important thing is your connection to it and how you are feeling as you're doing it, your presence and your intention, the energy you're bringing to it. So that's how I open my ceremony and ritual. I also will then state my intention if that ceremony is for something specific. So I might say something like, please bring me the messages and the insights and the connections that I need for this Beltane ceremony, or our Beltane ceremony is now open and ready to begin. Okay, so once we've opened the space, we start creating our altar. And as I always say, setting up for the ritual or ceremony is a key component to the ritual, to the ceremony. Sometimes setting up for the ceremony is the ritual, and sometimes that's all you do. You just set up your altar, and that's your ritual, that's your ceremony, and that's enough. As you're setting up your altar, as you're setting up your space, you are creating the intention and the energy that you want to call in for this ceremony, for this season, for this intention, this overarching intention that you are stepping into in your life. So be really present as you are setting up your space. Put on music you love and that embodies this energy, or that brings out this energy in you. Light candles, light incense, do all the things that help you step into this space. This can be you stepping into your ceremony, you creating this alternative space from the rest of your life and the rest of your day. So, our altar suggestions. I go through all the 5 different elements. We start with air. Find an incense or dried herb bundle that you feel called to and light it and place it on your altar. And while you're lighting it, state your intentions for this ceremony, for this season, and infuse the energy of your intentions into the bundle. And it might be nice for this bundle to be one that you've never used before, this incense to be one that you've never used before, so it doesn't have any past lingering intentions or energy, but it's fine to use whatever you have on hand, of course. And now moving forward, whenever you use this incense or dried herb bundle, you are connecting to your intentions. And I should say you can keep this altar set up for however long you want, just for this ceremony, for the entirety of a season, for however long you feel connected to this intention. And each time you come to this incense or dried herb bundle on your altar and light it, you're recommitting and reconnecting to your intentions. You can also place your incense or dried herbs into a fire during your ceremony as an offering or another representation of your commitment to your intentions. And with that being said, that brings us into our fire altar suggestions. Beltane is also a fire ceremony, and many fire rituals connected to fertility have been traditionally woven into this time, such as huge community bonfires to symbolize and celebrate the returning of the sun. And fertility can mean many different things to many different people. Perhaps it is your connection to creativity, birthing new relationships, or about your physical fertility. My suggestion for a fire ritual that is easily accessible is to light a candle and place it in the center of the room. And then walk around the candle in a circle slowly 3 times clockwise while stating your intention or a desire that you hope to embody and bring into your life throughout the next few weeks until the summer solstice. And really feel the power of that intention burn in the fire of your belly. Feel how much you want it and why, and really connect to that desire as you circle the candle. And it's connecting the flame that you see before you to the flame within you, the energy within you, and your power to bring that desire, that intention into your life. Now, water. Our water altar suggestion is to find water from a fresh water source nearby or whatever water you have on hand and throw it into a bonfire. Let it symbolize a washing away and releasing of the old. Watch the smoke rise as the past is transformed and transmuted. If you do not have a bonfire, you can use your water to snuff out your candle flame at the end of your ceremony. Our earth element. Flowers, of course. We are in springtime and it is time to bring in all the flowers. Decorate your home, your altar, your ceremonial space with any flowers blooming right now. You can even, as part of your ritual or a ritual all of its own, you can go to a local flower shop or farm and pick your own flowers that you feel called to. Check to see what the meaning and symbolism behind the flowers are that you are intuitively drawn to and see what message is hidden for you there. Or you can look up flowers that match the intention you are calling in and find those. And then our last element is spirit. As with all celebrations on the wheel of the year, this is a really powerful time to connect to your ancestors, spirit guides, the universe, whoever or whatever you feel called to or connected to. Place pieces on your altar that connect you to these guides. So perhaps a picture of an ancestor or a stone to represent a certain goddess. Sit with this altar item for a time and ask if there are any messages that this spirit wants to bring forward to you. Do not question what comes through. I know for me, when I started doing practices like this, I automatically would discount what came through or just really doubted myself. But the more I just trusted what came through and the more I just leaned into it, I found that there was a lot that my spirit guides, that my ancestors, that the energy around me, the universe wanted to say to me, and that I easily had access to if I let myself believe in it. And now our herbal companions. So to use this in your ceremony, you can make a tea with them, a tincture, body oil. You can put them on your altar. You can find them in incense, however feels good for you. You can just drink them throughout your ceremony. You can drink them throughout this portal in between Beltane and the summer solstice. Again, follow your intuition. Feel what feels good. But our herbal companions, the first one is nettle for nourishment. Nettle is perhaps one of my favorite plants and one of the first I deeply connected with when starting my plant path. When I first went to the Cotswolds in England for my herbalism apprenticeship, nettle was one of the first herbs that I really connected with. I was hiking with Theo, and the trail always seemed to land us in the woods, in a path that was just not a trail. And we would find ourselves stumbling and getting pricked and scratched by all these plants around us. And I soon discovered that they were all nettle, because nettle has stingers. And talking with my mentor, who I was doing my apprenticeship with, it really felt like an initiation, because this only happened my first couple of weeks in England. At least twice a week when we went on a trail, even if we were just going on a simple walk, I ended up getting attacked by a bunch of nettle. And what it really felt like, and what I uncovered through my learning and my conversation with my mentor, is that it was this initiation into this new chapter of my life. Nettle is so deeply nourishing, but it also has hard boundaries. It has hard walls until it's ready to let you in with its stingers. And then once you are able to work with it and embrace it, and once it trusts you, it starts to let you in. And there was a lot of crossover between my experience with boundaries, with walls, with letting people in, with softening my own boundaries and walls around my heart and with myself, trusting myself and nourishing myself. And my path with nettle was very supportive for all of that. Our next herbal companion is ginger, and this is to stoke the fire. So we want to call on the energy of summer and embrace and embody all she has to bring us, and channel that energy into aligned action and purposeful passion. And ginger supports us in doing just that. But that brings us to our last herbal companion, which is chamomile. And this is to soothe the spark, because although we want to embrace and embody the energy of the summer sun, we need to make sure we don't burn ourselves out. So you don't want too much fire and activation energy, because too much summer energy, ginger on top of the summer sun, can be a lot, especially depending on your disposition. So chamomile calms us out. It balances out the fire of the ginger and soothes us from the inside out. And nettle, ginger, and chamomile is actually a really beautiful combination for an herbal infusion, in my opinion. Next, we have our yoga therapy tools. So this is a time to feel truly confident and connected to our bodies. You know, in summer, we're wearing less clothes, we're out in the sun, we feel the sun on our skin, we're being more social and connective, and we really want to embody that confidence. And it's so important to check in with how we're feeling in our body right now. Many of us are still coming out of the wintertime haze, cave, and cocoon, feeling rusty and unsure. And this yoga therapy tool helps us to connect to our bodies and to get our blood flowing and regulate and ground and replenish ourselves. So this yoga therapy tool is an Ayurvedic practice called Abhyanga. It's a form of self-massage using warm oil. So you can use different oils. You can also, if your interest is piqued by this or you know about Ayurveda, you can look up your dosha and figure out which oil will be really helpful for your disposition. But I really love coconut oil. And to align with this theme of fertility and self-connection and creativity and birthing this new version of ourselves, I recommend massaging your womb space in order to connect to the place where fertility, creativity, and vitality live. You can also massage your feet or any other area of your body needing some extra love. There are some specific ways that people like massaging in the oil to their body, but for me, Abhyanga is really this time to break away from the rules around how we're supposed to show up for ourselves or how we're supposed to touch ourselves or how we're supposed to connect to ourselves and our bodies, and to really just be present with how we're feeling in our body, to have this moment of check-in and honesty and self-connection. And so really take your time with this. Truly be with yourself throughout this process. If you want any advice on oils that might be good for you or ways to infuse your herbs into your oil, you can reach out to me. We also have our intention oil on the online apothecary, which could really support this process for you as well. Our other yoga therapy tool is an outdoor altar. So find a place you feel called to in your backyard or a local park you frequent, or even a houseplant where you can gather a nature-based altar. So start by setting an intention for your altar, perhaps simply to connect more deeply to nature or something that is aligned with your intentions established during your journaling practice, which we will go into very soon. Then place one piece of nature on this piece of land. This could be a rock you find on a walk, or a stone you picked up at a crystal store, an incense bundle that holds your intention, whatever you want. You just want to make sure it is all compostable and suitable to be outside permanently. So each day or week until the summer solstice, go outside and place another piece of nature on your altar. Slowly, this altar will grow, becoming a symbol of your devotion to nature, yourself, and your intentions that you can visit often. This is a practice I've started doing in my new home, and it's been really special to connect to the land that I now live on. And so there are so many ways that you can use this practice. Now we've opened the circle, we've set up our space, we've used our herbal allies however we want to, or we've decided how we want to use them, how we want to connect to them, and we have done our abhyanga, we've crafted our outdoor altar. Again, do this in whatever order feels good for you, all in one ceremony or as separate rituals. But next, we're moving into our journaling practice, and we start with our reflection questions. Like I said in the beginning, if you want to see this all written out, you can head to the Substack, but I'm going to read them here as well. The first question: did you tend to nourish and truly align with your intentions from Imbolc and the spring equinox? Are you seeing those seeds bloom? Where? How? Why or why not? How can you continue to nurture those still tender and sensitive blooms? What seed growth surprised you from the last few weeks? What disappointed you? What seeds still need to be tended to and cared for? Which feel fully formed and ready to be seen? Which feel ready to release and come to an end? How can you celebrate and grieve and acknowledge what needs to be felt at this time? The seeds that didn't come to fruition, the blooms that got stunted and fell away, the flowers that unexpectedly birthed and blossomed. And from your reflections, we move into our intentions. From what you've written, what is being revealed to you around your heart's true desires? What is it you really, truly want? What is stopping you from aligning, embodying, or achieving it? How can you move on from any roadblocks, challenges, or uncertainties that may be coming your way? What would make you feel most alive this summer? Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What do you have to do in order to step into that? And then from the answers above, list out 1 to 5 things in your life you want to embody, create, or bring to life this season. And we did a similar practice with our spring equinox ceremony, but imagine them as the flowers blossoming from the winter seeds planted and the spring blooms tended to. Write down, I'm ready to watch my flowers grow. Then create an I am statement for each of the intentions you listed. For example, if you're hoping to manifest a move, you could say, I am living in my new home, feeling grounded, at peace, and safe. The most important thing here is that it is in the present tense and that it's something that you can really connect to and brings out the emotions that you want to embody. So even if it feels like a stretch or something that you don't yet believe or can see happening, you want to make sure that you can at least evoke the energy that you want to step into. And that's not bringing up pure frustration or anger or resentment or anything that will draw you away from that energy of your intention. And next to each statement, write down at least one action step you can commit to do ritually for the next few weeks until summer solstice on June 20th. Once you have written out your I am intentions and aligned action for each flower you're growing, write them down on a piece of paper and put that piece of paper somewhere you can look at it every day. You can also draw this, you can create a vision board, whatever feels good for you, but have it written out somewhere that you can remind yourself of it and reconnect to it and recommit to it. Once you're done with that, we're nearing the end of our ceremony. And I really want to remind you that the most important thing is patience, allowing things to take their time, having trust and faith. If you come up against stop signs, walls, or roadblocks, that does not necessarily mean you are meant to stop. These are check-in points. Check your intuition, check your devotion, check if this is what you truly want. And if all is still an authentic yes, you must keep going. Often stop signs are trying to tell you to pause, reflect, or move a little slower. Often walls are just asking you to take a different approach, go a new way, show your devotion and dedication, and try again. Roadblocks are asking you to look at the situation from a different perspective, have a certain experience, learn something new. Stay devoted to your path no matter what. You are worthy of your wildest dreams and deepest desires. That is what I want you to remember. So as you come to the end of your ceremony or your ritual, we will close the circle. And it's similar to how we began, but this time we are moving counterclockwise, starting with the direction of the north. So I'll place my hands in front of me and I'll say, Earth to the north, I thank you. Water to the west, I thank you. Fire to the south, I thank you. Air to the east, I thank you. Guides, gods, goddesses, spirits, benevolent ones above, I thank you. Ancestors below, I thank you. The guidance and wisdom of my own intuition and inner knowing, I thank you. The circle is now complete. The ritual, the ceremony is now complete, but my heart stays open and we all stay connected. Please continue to guide me, support me, and show me the messages and the insights I need to hear and see and receive. The circle is now complete. The circle is now complete. The circle is now complete. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will leave you there. Our ceremony, our ritual of this podcast is now complete. And I'm so grateful to all of you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would love to hear what of this ceremony, these rituals you decide to do, or what this brings up for you, any reflections you have or intentions you set. And as always, I will see you next time for more magic. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I hope it helped deepen your connection to yourself, sparked some insights, and inspired you to live intuitively wild. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with others and leave a rating and review. And please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. I will see you next time for more magic.